Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us at 4. I'm Lee Mills. Within the hour, Justice-elect Janet Protasiewicz will be sworn in as the next member of the Wisconsin Supreme Court. We have live coverage from the Capitol, where our Elizabeth Wattis joins us to break down what today means for the future of our state.
Yeah, Lee, the ceremony called the investiture, that's set to start at 4:30 in the Capitol Rotunda right behind me. A little bit about Protasiewicz. She defeated her opponent Dan Kelly back in the spring election by double digits, flipping the Supreme Court to liberal leaning for the first time in 15 years. Now, a little bit more about the justice. Before being elected to the state's high court, she served as a Milwaukee County judge, and during the campaign, she wasn't shy about sharing her personal views on being pro-choice when it comes to abortion laws. Looking ahead to next year's presidential election, if there are election lawsuits filed in state court, of course, liberal Protasiewicz will be one of the 7 justices who have the final say. Again, that swearing in starts within the hour at 4:30 here at the Capitol. Our coverage continues for you tonight at 5. But for now, live in Madison, Elizabeth Wattis, NBC 15 News.